Hallå, jag heter Peter Kärmo. Och är det okej att ta det på svenska här? Eller ingen som säger något som inte förstår alls vad du säger?
English or Swedish?
Okay, English. Sustainable furnaces. My name is Peter. I'm working at the Energy Technology Department, and so I'm spending my days in the sun, working with heat generation from sun, solar collectors. But in general, it is heat production and electricity production. The challenge today is not so much a technical one, it is a marketing, and you see the focus is on chimneys. The chimney is a huge innovation because it has different functions, and I will talk a little about the chimney. And the challenge is not to invent the chimney again, it is to try to market the idea of using a chimney. I don't know if anyone of you are scouting. Have you been making a fire? Do you recognize this fire? The Dakota fire? You drill simply, you dig a hole in the ground, and then you dig another hole on the right hand side here. Very difficult. But you can see, yeah, it's difficult. And the idea is to let air come into the fuel in an efficient way. I haven't seen this before, and it's a pity you don't learn it because it's easy to cover and put out, and you will not see any traces from the fire. But we should not talk about how to make a fire. We should talk a little about what is the mechanism around fire or combustion. The label here is too much air. It's not good. If you see the axis here is the red one is showing efficiency. On the horizontal axis we have the amount of air reaching the fire. So on the right side we have too much air, which is common if you have an open fire, and to the left you have excess fuel or too little combustion air. And too much and too little is not good, because you will, if you have too little air, you will let a lot part of the fuel out and you lose efficiency. If you have too much air or oxygen, you will reduce the efficiency also, because you will have a bad combustion, not a stoichiometric combustion. So what you can suggest is to have the right amount of air, and that is easily reached with a chimney. The problem, I think you have seen many times, it takes a lot of time to collect fuel, and if you take fuel out of the woods, you will have a bad result of a desert. When combusting the fuel with too much air, as in this case, you will produce unburnt particles, normally named black carbon. And the result is bad locally, because you will have respiratory diseases, and it's bad globally because you will have particles in the air. And these black carbon particles increases the climate change because they absorb solar radiation and heat the atmosphere. And it is found recently that nearly half of the increase in temperature is caused by this black carbon. And it is possible to reduce the temperature increase by reducing the carbon, the black carbon. And one way is to put chimneys on fireplaces. Here is time, and you have seen this curve increasing temperature, and scientists suggest that if we can reduce not only black carbon but also methane, we can quickly reduce the increase of temperature. And this is really an interesting aim. Here are some examples, and I think you are familiar with this. The main task is to introduce the idea to many people to not use a microwave oven, which is quite efficient, but to use a chimney simply. Not only for production or preparation of food, but also for heating. And this is a quite old furnace named Kang, and you can see you make food at this point, and if you need heating, also you let it out under this brick module. This is used today, is used among some 80 million people still. This is another heating tile heating unit, kakelan, as many of you are familiar with, which is for heating and ventilation, and it's quite efficient. You don't see the chimney here, but you know that there is a chimney connected to this unit. So the idea is to market sustainable furnaces. An argument is it will save fuel, of course. It will save time, less particles and less climate change, and a more smooth weather locally. And the black carbon also melts glaciers, as you probably know. The argument against is that women will get more time and power, because today this food preparation is mainly women. So this could be a problem. Okay. Har vi stannat? Ja, det ser ut att bli instopp. Ja, just det. So, this is a general curve. What you see here is the amount of energy used for preparation of food, calculated as a continuous power per person. And on the horizontal axis you can see different countries. And this is now a recent curve, and you see Japan has quite low energy for the preparation of food. They eat, of course, sushi, which don't need any heating at all. But you can also see other countries have a very big difference in consumption of fuel in comparison to some countries that still use these inefficient wood stoves without a chimney. Yeah, this is an exhaust duct for ventilation, but it's not enough. You need, of course, a chimney. These are some recommended pages you can look at. This is, we will not like to see this in the future. And the effort here. So the task is to try to marketing the idea of using chimneys. There are several examples of chimneys, but the problem is to introduce the knowledge, to market the knowledge. Thank you.